You're listening to the All Elite Podcast, your favorite AEW fan podcast for in-depth analysis and discussions about the number one growing brand in professional wrestling today, All Elite Wrestling. This podcast is broadcasted live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch on behalf of the No Holds Barred Network. The network is your source for wrestling interviews and podcast content featuring independent wrestling and AEW. Also, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So sit back, relax, and interact in the live chat. Enjoy the show.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast right here on the No Holds Barred Network. Oh, God, you disappeared for a sec. You're good. Your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. My name is Kyle Masters. I'm your self-proclaimed greatest host. I am your Canadian prince. I'm always joined by my co-host. She's EVP Giggles, the Heartbreak Chick, the queen of the indies herself, the lady of light tubes too. That's Tiffany. Totally forgot. That's the most important nickname today.
Yeah. Yes. You can't stress it.
Apparently you can't stress this enough because of shit.
Listen, this is now the All Light Tube Podcast.
Okay.
Forget All Elite. It's the All Light Tube Podcast. Let's go.
Well, no.
Yes.
For marketing purposes, we have to still be this name right here, All Elite Podcast. It's what we're known for. We can't switch. As much, Tiff, I'm going to give you full permission to go on the network and make your own Light Tube podcast. You can do whatever the hell you want with that podcast. You can start. I'll make you graphics. I'll do everything for you. But this is not this show.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You can do the All Light Tube podcast on another show. There's so much to talk about. We cannot talk about light tubes for a damn hour. I had to go digging for this shirt, you know? I had to go through like 5 boxes to find my CM Punk shirts. I had no idea where the hell they were, and I found it.
Light tubes!
I could have just started with like, let me wait for my apology, please. But no, I held back because you went on Twitter, you tweeted. I took that as the apology, right? I'm Canadian. We're known for apologies. I should know what an apology looks like, right?
I made it the Twitter world. So.
Oh my God.
We'll get into that.
Hi, everybody.
Light tubes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the All Elite Podcast, where myself and Tiffany talk about everything in that AEW world, including Dynamite, Dark, Elevation, Rampage, BTE, whatever future show they plan on doing, but everything's covered here on the show. Doing the Fight for the Fallen review, get the special layout again. It was all July. We had special layouts. You can see down below. We are right there. We are sponsored by Manscaped. Ladies and gentlemen, we will get to that commercial in the middle of the show as well. I'll try to remember. I tried to do the middle of the show last week. Totally forgot. I ended up doing it at the end of the show. Got to remember to do it in the middle of the show this week. But yes, we are officially sponsored by Manscaped. We have a promo code for you guys, and we have a special commercial that you guys are always here for. But hello to everyone in the live chats going on right now. I got to see a lot of you guys in the YouTube, Facebook chats. Hello to everybody. Yeah.
Hello.
Hang on, I'll do that for you. Here you go. Hello to everybody. To everybody in the live chat. God, that Doubtfire hello wasn't too loud. I thought that would be louder than that. I was bracing myself. But anyways, yeah, lots to chat about, Tiffany. Lots to chat about when it comes to AEW. And again, my God, another week has gone by, and another week where it seems like we're on that roller coaster. And we're like, it's one of those like tall boys, you know, like at the start where you climb the mountain, and we're just keep going up. Like there's no end in sight where we dip down. It keeps going up, and we have another week of just crazy rumors, news, episode of Dynamite. Dark and Elevation were actually really good. I caught most of both of those. So those were fun to watch. BTE, I think I watched, but don't remember.
There wasn't much, really. I mean, there was a lot of the traveling, and then there was the Dark Order with threatening Brandon, and the Dark Order came in at the end, and then
That's right. And he was dressed like a creeper. Yeah. Well, he had the mask. I don't know. Do we call them creepers anymore? Because I don't think those exist.
Well, they do exist. They're in my DMs, but that's a whole other story.
Okay, those are different. Those are different creepers. But anyways, yeah, so much to talk about, man. There's like, I don't even know where to start because like it's just been an absolute crazy week since our last podcast leading into this one. Man, and Dynamite last night was so good. And I got to do so what I'm doing too, Tiff. If you guys don't know, I am in the gaming world now. I'm part of a stream team called the Game Lounge, and myself and Anthony DiStefano, formerly of the game Rant with Ant podcast. Now they have their own AEW one called Elite POV. We actually been holding the last 2 weeks a Dynamite watch party in the Game Lounge where we stream Dynamite and everyone comes and watches. We actually had someone in there last night that's never watched wrestling before but wanted to come and watch it. And I kid you not, Tiff, their jaw was dropping and were so so amazed by everything they watched, including the deathmatch stuff that happened at the end of Dynamite. But it was just so awesome to see a new fan of like wrestling in general watching it for the first time and had an absolute blast. Yeah, and Jackie was in there too. She watched along with us. It was awesome. And it looks like I think we're doing more of those as well. So, but either way, Dynamite last night, wow.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
To take.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot. And there's just so much. Like there's so much has happened last night, and it's just like I don't even know where to start. Like I don't know where to potentially. Like I'm wearing the CM Punk shirt, obviously that everyone can see if they're watching the video version of this podcast. And if you guys are watching, thank you the video. If you guys are downloading the episode, I do apologize. Last week, unfortunately, it wasn't uploaded, and that was my fault. I got super sidetracked this week and totally forgot to upload it. I will upload this one to audio.
So, do you want to start with the big thing? Because I'm screaming about fucking light tubes, and then we can get into everything else.
So is that what you want to start with, light tubes?
Start with this because I want to go into this factor, okay? Because I want to talk about the whole deathmatch scene, right?
Yeah, we can talk about the main event first. Let's talk about it.
Because let's just go there with like a lot of things. I swear to God, I never thought in a million years that we would have got deathmatch wrestling on AEW.
So
and the fact that it opened up so many doors, and for me, being so hardcore in the indie scene and just scrolling through Twitter and people posting like our wrestler friends, wrestlers that have been on the Under the Rope series, and you know, people that I've gone to watch at GCW. Meanwhile, never mind the fact that I just witnessed Nick Gage and Matt Cardona happen live front row. So to watch like Kid Osborne with Jimmy Lloyd at the bar watching this, like making history, and all the other wrestlers just like tweeting about it, like the possibilities is endless. And there's so much that we could sit here and talk about. JR called a death match. You know, then we had a woman, Aubrey, like she repped her first death match. There's so many firsts that happened here last night.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to go into this like first.
So would you say that this was, because this wasn't full death match, would you have said this was between like 70 and 80%? Like, what if you had to give it a percentage? Because I know you're very well known with the deathmatch scene. Where would you put this percentage at?
Maybe 60%.
Yeah, I figured it was like somewhere between 60 and 80 because I knew that wasn't full. Like they did pull a lot of shit out that I didn't think they were going to, aka light tubes and the glass panel.
It was so funny. Like social blew up on me yesterday because everybody's like, Tiffany's so happy right now. Tiffany's so happy. We got light tubes. Like I flipped the fuck out in the living room, flipping out. I was like, we have fucking light tubes. Like, and then the fact of the contractions, Kyle, that, and if nobody watches this, because I know like a lot of people don't watch deathmatch. So many promotions, not just GCW, ICW, then you have Japan, like you have deathmatch wrestling really is a thing. So this was tame, but we got a good chunk of it. Glass glass.
Yeah.
Like I just watched Tournament of Survival last month, and that every match was death match, and it's insane, Kyle. Like, I mean, you watch like some. I got you to watch like a little bit, but not compared to like Bloodsport, which we talked about last week with Ricky Shane Page and Nick Gage. Like that's a freaking death match or Matt Tremont and RSP at H2O, where at Last Extravaganza in October, where the whole ring was surrounded by light tubes. And like I said, the contractions that these guys make, that's incredible. So, but even just to have a couple light tubes and a little bit of glass, and I knew Nick Gage was going to go through that glass because there was no way in hell that I felt that Jericho was going to go through it. But Matt Cardona just did a death match with Nick Gage.
Although Jericho took a lot of spots with the light tubes that I didn't think that I was going to see him take. That was nuts.
Pizza cutter, like that's Nick Gage's thing. If like you don't really know Nick Gage, now you know Nick Gage, and it's kind of cool to watch people that never supported or never knew about this scene. And
this is where I did my research. I actually listened to Van Vliet's podcast with him because I wanted to know some and he sat there with Nick Cage and he went over like everything, like how he went to prison and all that stuff, and like his favorite wrestlers growing up. Like it's a really, really fantastic interview, and like it went to detail. Like Nick Gage still has like glass like stuck in his skin and his tricep from like his death matches. That he says that he doesn't like going to hospitals after death matches, so he just.
It's not only that, like they'll tell you also, and it was funny because I actually put this question out on social about like a week ago, and I was like, I'm really curious to like the wrestlers out there that do these deathmatch wrestling, like what do the doctors say? Like you walk in, you're all bloodied up or whatever, you got these crazy cuts. And I'm like, what do you say? And what do these doctors say to you? And of course, I got different responses from different wrestlers. Most of them will be like, okay, well, we don't go to the hospital. They'll be glued from that special glue that they have. Or they'll, they have a doctor in-house that will just stitch them up or whatever. But most of the time, a lot of these, like in the independent scene, they don't have insurance.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? So we were talking a lot about that, but I also wanted to bring something else up because the entrance package of Nick Gage, which shout out to Wrestling's with Unicorn, who've been on the Under the Ropes series too. Again, this is why you need to watch Under the Ropes because you never know who's going to show up on AEW. And there was a bunch of people. Jimmy Lloyd, G Raver was like, yo, like, I've hung out with these people like outside of wrestling, or they've been on the Under the series. I was like, how cool is this? And G Raver was just on the Chris Jericho podcast a couple of weeks ago, which was really interesting. But they just opened a damn door, Kyle. Like, this is huge. And I think with this being done, it was super special. And I know that was something that you and me always talked about on the podcast with Tony Khan wanted like blood and stuff to only like things like that to happen on big events. So I felt like this yesterday, like this isn't going to be a permanent thing. Obviously, we're not going to all see it. There are going to be people that aren't into it. So this was really special.
And to the people wondering, AEW did go to TNT and ask about this. A lot of people were like trying to put AEW in the mud and saying like, oh, TNT are not happy about this. And they're mad. I'm like, no. Tony Khan went and got that approved. Like, let's relax. And shout outs to the American commercial people. Yeah, I put in the chat there by Kilroy. We didn't get to see it because we were watching in the Discord on the Canadian feed, but apparently in the American feed, they perfectly timed a picture-in-picture where when Nick Gage was cutting Jericho with the pizza cutter, it went to a Dominos commercial at the same time. And I'm like, holy shit, that's like the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. The worst part of it with the Canadian feed as they screwed us big time, Tiff. So right at like middle of Moxley's promo to the start point. So start point, it went to a commercial at the middle of Moxley's promos. We didn't hear what he was saying. And it ended after Nick Gage's entrance. So we missed all of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, this is the match we want to see. We're getting fucking commercials, which is crazy.
So I tweeted in anger at TSN. So hopefully they take that into account.
That, Nick Gage was on Dark Side of the Ring too. So that kind of brought a lot of eyes as well over to AEW, which is great. Now, like, I mean, this whole thing again, like, it was so special. again on so many levels. I loved it. I was in shock again. I never thought that we would see this on AEW. So I just watched like Nick Gage is like, here's this guy. Like, I have photos with this guy. This guy's like the most nicest guy. Like, look at like the videos. Like, he does like cameos. He goes, you guys paid me for this. I would have did this for free. Like, it's an experience. Like, one day that I would love Kyle to be a part of, like a real like GCW show where Nick Gage comes out and he could just physically see how the fans crowd around him. Kyle, there was over 2,000 people at GCW.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah.
And like how it was, and the fact that a bunch of the H2O roster was there and trying to back people up and like having security trying to get Matt Cardona to the ring. It was insane. Insane. Yeah. So, it's an experience.
But the match was great. I thought it was an exciting main event. Like they did such a good job with that. Then the light tubes again, that was a big shocker that they even did all that stuff. And not only just like, it's not just like they just took one light tube and said, that was it. They used multiple light tubes, and Gage using it as a shank, and the ones that were all tied together. I'm like, damn, they literally went all out.
Now let's be real about this, right? Like, people are like, oh, Jericho did this or whatever. Jericho had to agree to this. Jericho would have never did this if he didn't want to. Let's be real. Right? Like, that's gonna be cool. Like, here's one of the most known guys.
That's what I mean. Jericho to me is a guy is like, I want to be able to do everything before I retire. And why not have a death match with like the king of death matches so you can put that under your belt?
So like there's like a couple of people that, and I've had these discussions with independent wrestlers that come on, and there's always that handful of wrestlers that you would feel 100% comfortable. Like, okay, if I'm going to have one death match, it's going to be this guy. And it's usually like Nick Gage, Matt Tremont, Alex Colon. If you guys, again, the only one I haven't had on the podcast is Nick Gage, but I guess I'm going to have to change that. But like, who knows? But you never know. But oh my God. So
how do you reach out to a guy like Nick Cage?
He's the nicest guy in the world.
But like, do you DM him? Like, does he have social media? I know he has Twitter, which I'm weird out that he's not verified. Like, this guy kind of feels like this should be verified at this point.
Kid Osborne's like podcast like not that long ago or whatever. So I'm wondering, maybe I could probably get him on. I wouldn't be surprised with my whole Queen of the thing going on. People know me, but I
kind of feel like you should reach out to your boy G Raver, because he mentioned G Raver in the podcast with Chris Van Fleet as one of the guys he loves to wrestle with and loves, like, he mentions like the great deathmatch wrestlers out there. He put over G Raver on Van Fleet's podcast.
I mean, who doesn't love G Raver? Like, he's so awesome. Like,
yeah. And if you guys haven't listened to that podcast, literally do, because you find out a lot from Nick Gage. Like, you find out about like if after you're done listening to him, you don't see him the same. You don't see him as like a crazy nut job. Like, this guy is, and you find out so much. Like, I mentioned it last night in the chat watching AEW. I was like, man, listening to that podcast, this guy actually, like, his first love is professional wrestling. Oh, and his second love is death match. He actually loves pro wrestling more than he loves death matches. And that's coming from the king of the death matches. So, honestly, the main event was awesome.
He he's great with kids too. Like, I don't know if you ever saw that video that went scrolling around that he went up, there was like a little girl and she was like all excited to see him, and he went to go high five her and she pushed him, right? No. Like, give me some. And then he like slightly pushed her back, and then she pushed him back, because that's the thing you do. Like, it's kind of like mosh pit.
Yeah.
With like Gage, it's like Nick Gage is for the children. Like Nick Gage is for everybody. He's the nicest guy. He knew what he did wrong. He did all that. Did his time, and he repented for it. And here he is, and everybody fucking loves him, and he's the most nice you'll ever, and I can vouch for that, and anybody that's met him can vouch for that too. So for another death match, Kyle, this was very tamed.
Yeah.
You enjoy it? Would you want another one like this or no?
I think this is the extent of what I could probably take.
Well, I'm gonna do this with you. We still.
I don't
have
know
to
though,
have
Tiff. I don't know if I'd like it because at this point, I don't know if anything rougher than this. I don't know if I could enjoy. It's just I don't think I'm that person that would enjoy it.
Bloodsport. I think it was April. Am I right? February or was it April? Bloodsport, RSP versus Nick Gage for the belt.
Oh, Ricochet Page.
He's
my boy.
rude.
That's my boy Ricochet Page.
He walked away from me again, Kyle. Did you see the clip? He walked away from me again. He's so rude. I brought him a deathmatch pineapple. Rude.
But then after, so we find out what the next trial of Jericho is. The next week, man, the first time in like 20-something years these guys haven't wrestled. Juventud Guerrera is coming back, and had to look him up real quick when he announced him. Like, hey, what does this guy look like right now? He's still jacked. Guy's still pretty jacked. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at these two, and I'm like, okay. And I started looking at old pictures of these two in WCW. I'm like, okay, so this can only mean one thing. So we had normal Jericho last week. This week we get the Pain Maker, Tiffany.
Yeah.
So does that mean next week we are potentially going to get another side of Jericho, a older side of Jericho that we saw back in WCW when he was called the Lionheart Chris Jericho? I think that would be so cool. I saw a couple of theories about that. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. I want to see Jericho come out next week against Juventud Guerrera as the Lionheart Chris Jericho and his Lionheart gear. That would be so cool. And that would be like a very like WCW type of match next week. So the stipulation is he's got to hit a top rope move to win the match. So that's going to be interesting too, because Jericho hitting a top rope move is at this point is going to be something. But I'm thinking about the Trials of Jericho like more now here, right? So this was the second one. Next week's the third one. So there's two left after that, Tiff, before he gets to MJF. I'm thinking at least one of those two. I don't know if it's going to be the fourth one or the fifth one. I bet you MJF makes Chris Jericho wrestle Sammy Guevara, and he has to beat him in order to face MJF at All Out.
I have no clue. I'm honestly I'm just.
But like because him and Sammy Guevara like glue, right? They're the sex gods, and you know what I mean. Like there's that story there between those two. Like, and he has to beat Sammy. Like Sammy can't win that match. That would be insane.
Sammy could just like lay down in the ring,
Yeah.
you just like here, just pin me, it could be just so stupid like that.
But I saw a lot of theories going on with this.
It's not a bad theory. I have no clue what's the next one's gonna be. At least they're keeping us on our toes, right? We're not getting boring. At least it's not the full inner circle.
I'm fully engaged in this because I really want to know what. Like, I'm gonna be fully engaged because I want to know what MJF's gonna come out and say what the next trial is going to be, and I'm so curious as to what 4 and 5 are going to be. And I saw a lot of theories out there and a lot of crazy ones.
Let us know in the chat who do you guys is, and if you're watching this podcast after the fact, leave us some comments. Let us know what you think.
There is one that's really outlandish and crazy. The other one not so much outlandish, not so much not going to happen, but it's pretty crazy to think about. So I'll start with that one. The one I seen was because Paul White's there and he has a history with Chris Jericho in WWE. He's gonna face Paul White. MJF's gonna pay him off and he's gonna face the Big Show or obviously Paul White. Because there was that picture going around of Paul in the advertisement photo and Paul White was in full gear. Whatever this gear he has. So maybe he has a match with Chris Jericho. That was one theory. I'm like, I could see that. There's a history between those two. There's a massive history between those two. Another one people are pointing out there's New Japan people, but I don't know what the travel restrictions are going on right now. I kind of less see New Japan people, more what they have on roster. The one theory, but it's very outlandish, but would be awesome, Tiff. But because he signed a WWE, it's so hard and they couldn't do it. Could you imagine the fifth one? Because the biggest history between Jericho and a WWE superstar, which was the most over thing in the world, was with Kevin Owens. And then imagine if it was Kevin Owens, the fifth trial, the best friends thing. Man, that would be nuts. That would be insane. But obviously that's the one that can never happen. But I was just reading theories online last night. I'm going like some of these are crazy.
There was a lot of the ones that it's like Brock Lesnar. I'm like
Brock Lesnar. I think he's going to MMA. I saw he signed with a company, and I think he's. I don't think it's UFC. I think it's another MMA company, either Bellator or something else. But I'm pretty sure Lesnar's going back to MMA.
The Ultimate Dragon. A lot of people have been talking. That name's been a lot. Tanahashi would be around. That's actually not a bad one.
He's too tied up with what he's doing now.
Who does it say like Jay White doesn't come over?
To face Jericho, that would be sweet, but I'm gonna save that for later, for what we talk about later.
Crowd, like, so I mean, it could be somebody again. I don't know. There's so many names. Like I said, the fact that AEW is not getting boring right now because it's like they opened that forbidden door. Who does it say it's somebody from Impact, or like who does it say like Chris Bay comes over? You know, like I don't think so. But the fact of at least we're not getting bored. Right? Like, we're getting new matches that we never thought we were going to see.
Well, Tanahashi's coming to America. Now I really want to know who else is going to be on that plane. Who else is going to be on that plane coming to America from New Japan? There's only one guy on there I want to be on that plane. It's who I think is going to face Kenny Omega now at All Out.
Listen, I want Yano to come back and wrestle Moxley. 5,000 yen DVD, 5,000 yen.
So let's talk about the opening contest. So we got to talk about this because this was probably the coolest thing and probably the best thing I've ever seen. And the crowd was so hot for this. You know, and it really does make a difference when there's a crowd there and they're hot. It really makes the watching that much more better. You know what I mean? Like, you enjoy watching the proc a little bit more better than if there was no crowd. So we had the Hangman and the Dark Order, who had one of the coolest entrances I've ever. Both had cool entrances, but like I loved how they started with the Hangman one in the cowboy stuff, and I love the aesthetic of it. I love like they went through each Dark member order, and it was them with a cowboy hat in the shadow, and they made the entrance was so cool. It was like a hybrid theme of the Dark Order's theme and Hangman's theme, which was so well done. So shout outs to you, Mikey Ruckus, for that. That was so awesome. And then the Elite, man, the Elite coming out with the Elite Squad, and then promoting Space Jam. I'm like, hey, why don't we get in the Elite Squad jerseys? Shop AEW, get your shit together, because those will fly off the shelf like hotcakes. Those will be your top-selling merch of all time.
Make jerseys over there?
Or a shirt, or wife beater, whatever. Just slap the Elite Squad on a shirt or something. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. I mean, if you want to make jerseys, God, man, you'll make your money back, guaranteed. But their entrance was really cool. I love how they actually got the theme, that actual like Jock James theme song. I was like, damn, like Tony Khan is not messing around with his checkbook, which we'll get into later. Why I think everything that's been rumored is 100% true. But that was really cool with the basketball net. It was dope. The match was really good, too. And just the ending threw me right the fuck off. I swear, I apologize, but it threw me right the fuck off.
Where do we go from here?
So, I myself have two theories. It's either going to be for sure Hangman again. Like, it's going to be the rematch, and they're still going to do it. Or Kenny they've put a pin in it. They've put a pin in this again. And it's one of those feuds that can keep prolonging. And this goes back to what Queen said last week. And maybe she's right. I mean, she said that this might not actually happen until Full Gear. It kind of looks that way. We'll see. But Kenny, I don't think going to be facing Hangman at All Out anymore. I don't think so. That's the other side of it. It's very, very tough to think about.
Soft.
What's that?
Unless it's a way to throw us off.
So that's what I mean. I think maybe there is also the potential of it still going on at All Out. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to be Punk or Bryan. Absolutely not. They can't be thrown into the title picture right away, and I don't think Bryan's going to be there until after All Out. So
he's supposed to be the Queen show that they're talking.
I want to talk about the Queen show, but what's going on with COVID right now is making me very upset that there's more chances of me not being able to go with this Delta variant getting out of control. And it's not because everyone's going to be like, oh, they're just going to do mandatory masks. Yeah, that's fine. If they do the mandatory masking, that's fine. That doesn't help the fact that I won't be able to cross the border then. The problem with me is that I'm Canadian. I'm on another country. And then if this keeps getting out of control, they won't open the damn borders for me. So.
Well, anyway, back to.
Yeah, so that's why I don't really talk about it right now. Until they figure that shit out, I won't talk about it. But yeah, the match was awesome. So there's one cool thing I pulled off Twitter that I see, and I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of damn sense. And it's really cool. And I love AEW does a lot of these things. They do a lot of callbacks, and sometimes they're very subtle like this. So. Shout outs to @Hulk Logan tweeted this out. He puts, who noticed the callback to AEW Revolution? Revolution had a clear hint of the descent of the Indie Elite after the match. If you remember at Revolution after the match, the Hangman looked like he was going to jump the rope and do the thing, but he stopped. And it came full circle. Look at this picture side by side. The left is Revolution. The right was Last Night. I'm like, oh my God, like they literally like gave a throwback to Revolution.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was cool. That was cool. You had a long-term storytelling, 100%. I love that.
That's why I said this payoff's got to be big. Mm-hmm. So even if it gets built back up, even if they take a step back, that maybe it's not his time, the payout has to be big.
It all depends, because the rumor is now that these whole Bryan and Punk rumors have thrown everything off.
Let's take a step back, right? Let's say there could be a possibility of reason why, and I think me, Metal, and Smart to Death Anthony were talking about this, right? If CM Punk shows up at All Out, right?
Which he will. I'm almost it's almost guaranteed now.
You don't want to overshadow Hangman, right? Yeah. Because this is gonna be so big. The payout for when Hangman wins the title, it has to be big. And if he wins the title and then CM Punk comes out, that takes away, right?
No, Punk's coming out before All Out. Like Punk's with what they announced on Dynamite last night, Punk is 100% going to be at the United Center in August. So it's going to be before, and this is where I can counter that. So I think they can still do both. And the way they do it is, obviously, Darby Allin has called out CM Punk, clearly. And for all we can say as of this moment now, not confirmed, but at All Out is going to be Darby Allin and CM Punk. They can do that as the show opener. Get that shit out of the way. Do it at the show opener. Get the CM Punk chance all out. That way they can start building the rest of the pay-per-view, and Hangman can still have his moment at the end of All Out.
Unless there's somebody else that they're planning.
Exactly, unless they have something else for Kenny, which again,
that's why I'm saying that could be the only thing if they're gonna take it away.
Which this is great. This is awesome that we're sitting here guessing, and I love that we're made to guess, and it just builds the anticipation, right?
Yeah. This is why we love you.
Exactly. So, but again, that whole beginning, that whole first match was awesome. I'm glad John Silver's back. He's looking great in the ring. He was over as shit. Like, anytime he got in the ring, the crowd was chanting Johnny Hungy. Shoutouts to Stu Grayson for taking a nasty bump, too, off that, twirl backflip, whatever you want to call it. He landed pretty hard, though, on his head, back area. You can see him kind of limping a little bit, and then, but still had the amount of energy to go into the crowd and do, a barrier jump onto Gallows. Even though they got both counted out. But yeah, incredible opening match. The crowd was hot. I was hot for watching that.
Oh shit, Domino's is threatening to pull future ads for AEW and TNT because of the whole shit last night. Because they're saying that they're disavowing any knowledge or involvement in AEW TNT bloody telecast Wednesday night, which showed one wrestler slicing his opponent's head open.
Oh my god, bunch of sissies. Come on, that should make you be happy, because people are watching Dynamite, right? And then they're seeing the pizza cutter spot and it goes to the commercial. That would make me want to buy pizza. I'm just saying. That would be damn, I'm watching some crazy wrestling and then a Domino's commercial comes up. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. You're at the end of the show where you're tired, right? And you're hungry. That would be the perfect spot placement. Why are they being wussies, man? Whatever. I'll say fuck Domino's, man. Shit's nasty anyways. I don't eat Domino's.
Go to Papa John's. Papa John's, jump on this shit.
Yeah, Papa John's. Come. I swear, this would be smart for a pizza company to tweet and say, AW, we got your back. Play us.
Yeah. Hardcore pizza wrapped with barbed wire around the pizza. No.
they'll have like a wrestler. They'll take like Papa John's used to come in there. You get an AEW wrestler to make a commercial. Like, that would be like the best thing ever. That would like stick it to Domino's.
I thought Chappelle already comes out with the pizza cutter, ready to cut your pizza in 30 minutes or less.
No, you know what you need to do? I already thought of it instantly. Here we go, Tiff. Have Wardlow in the commercial, right? Like, have him there like smashing the dough with like his giant fists. Have someone walk into the Papa John's restaurant asking, "Is this Domino's?" Have Wardlow just go over there and freaking like give him like that twirling F5 thing out the door. There you go. Sold.
Oh, God.
Anyways, just pay me in royalties, all right, Papa John's? Free pizza for a year. I'll be kind. I'll be good.
Well, who did you make friends with on Ollie Podcast Twitter? Who was it that we were like writing back and forth with?
Oh, I don't remember what their name was. That's bad. They're probably watching this and going, "Wow, you assholes." Pricks. Don't remember a damn name. Anyways, so yeah, I thought that was cool. So we'll talk about it because I'm wearing the shirt. Damn it. So they kind of teased at the Punk thing twice last night. So the one was the United Center thing. So Tony Schiavone comes out. There was an announcement that Tony Khan said there was a special live event coming up. I was intrigued. I thought initially at first last week when they first announced it that maybe it's the first AEW New Japan Super Show that we know eventually they are going to do. But no. Ends up being Rampage on August 20th live at the United Center, which, if no one knows, is a huge arena. 20,000 fans can fit in that arena. And they're calling it The First Dance. So we knew they were trademarking that name weeks ago. So this is why.
Cinnabon.
What's that?
It was Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. Shouts to you guys. Love you guys. Seriously, I do love you guys. But yeah, so The Last Dance. Again, they can't, AEW, for you guys wondering, AEW cannot do all of this teasing and not live up to it at this point because they will lose so many fans if it's not CM Punk. I don't care if you're going to sit there and tell me, "Oh, but they could swerve," and no. You don't tease the biggest free agent in history this much to not live up to the hype. You do not do that. You do this for a Buddy Murphy. You do this. I'm not putting these people down. You do this for a Peyton Royce. You do this for some other free agent, right? A Tessa Blanchard, whatever. You do not do this for CM Punk and don't live up. And especially doing an hour show in a 20,000 seat arena. Are you kidding me? You're telling me they're not doing CM Punk? That's a load of crap. They are doing CM Punk. It's lit. Man, all the teasing they did last night with like Darby Allin, like Darby Allin's promos, like basically calling him out. And this is crazy because CM Punk has come out and said in previous interviews that if there's anybody in AEW he'd want to face, it was Darby Allin. And now, what a coincidence. Darby Allin's the one that says, anyone who wants to come step up, even the best in the world. So there's that, It's just, it doesn't make sense if it's not CM Punk. It does not make sense. They're going to lose a shit ton of people because as soon as those tickets go on sale Monday morning, they're going to sell a lot of tickets. I guarantee they'll sell at least 16,000 tickets in that arena, even if it's just for an hour show. It's not going to be just an hour for them. I'm sure like there's going to be like an hour after where they're going to do a bunch of dark or elevation matches. So they're going to get like a full 2-hour show. But for us on TV, it'll be an hour. It's going to be CM Punk. It's 100% going to be CM Punk. And it's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely insane. We saw it, First Dance. What did CM Punk do like a week ago on his Instagram? He put the Last Dance song in his freaking Instagram story. CM Punk doesn't do troll jobs. He doesn't do that. When's the last time he did a troll job? Tell me, anybody. When's the last time he did something on his social media he was trolling that he was going to a company?
That all out when it was rumored 2 years ago with him that he kind of put it out there that he wasn't.
Yeah, he literally came out and said that I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
At this point, he's not said a word. He would have, I'm guaranteed if he wasn't coming, he would have came out and said, "Guys, it's not me."
I feel the way that you do, Christ, that it says until I see a formal statement from Tony Khan or CM Punk or Bryan Daniel in AEW ring, it's official in my book. Yeah, you're 100% right.
But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that if it's a surprise. It's sort of a surprise. We all kind of know, but we
said this even with Moxley. The rumors were going on, and we didn't believe it. watching, and then all of a sudden we all popped. We talked about that with Brandon Cutler, episode 26. So
Good plug.
episode 26. Yeah. We talked about that with Brandon Cutler about it being special and that those rumors were going around, and it was still very special.
Yeah.
So.
Show me Christ records. I'm telling you right now, they don't do all this. Like, I mean, look what they did with Christian Cage. If we can kind of sort of compare it here, they didn't really do all that teasing for Christian Cage. And Tony came out and said this is a big signing. Look what Tony Khan's doing now. He's literally like being so hush-hush about it and not in like kind of like doing like this smile, like, no, he's definitely not coming kind of thing. Like, he is coming. They don't just do the United Center for an hour show if nothing's going to happen that's not relating to CM Punk. It's only an hour on Friday nights in a 20,000-seat arena when they're doing Dynamites in 6,000-seat arenas. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's move on.
I'm just saying, and to prove that this is a cool hint. So, and what MJF did last night was so cool. Because he dropped the biggest CM Punk hint out of the whole entire night. And I'm going to play it for y'all right now because I actually clipped it. So someone put a clip on Twitter. So it's going to show what CM Punk said in his John Cena pipe bomb promo. And right after it's going to show, and you guys are going to listen, and it's going to show what MJF said in his promo last night. So here we go, guys. Listen to this and listen carefully to both promos.
John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. Chris, as you sit there in more pain than you've ever been in your entire life, I need you to listen to me.
So, see, like, the similarities there? And Jericho is almost in, like, the same kind of position on the turnbuckle as John Cena. They don't just do this if he's not coming. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense that they're going to the United Center for just an hour show when every other Dynamite episode is in like a 6,000-seat arena. What are they going to do this doesn't make sense. Tony Khan's losing money here. You guys are realizing this. He's losing money.
Hey, Kyle. I think we need a break from Manscape.
Tiffany, we're a podcast. This is what we do. Like, we have to discuss. I'm not gonna just come here and say, "Oh, CM Punk's coming," and then move on. I have to discuss. We have to get this out. This is what you do on a podcast. So let's get to Manscape, because Manscape is a great sponsor. They're amazing. I love them. Love them to death. Manscape. You guys are great. You're keeping there. I gotta reach for it. You guys are keeping my downstairs looking great. You know, I'm keeping them preserved with the crop preserver and all that stuff while I continue to ramble on until I get the Manscape readout here, because I forgot to bring the readout out. Is the one thing I forgot to do before the pod. But yeah, Manscaped. I pull out the wrong email. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Why can't I find the damn email? There it is.
Because if he doesn't show up for whatever reason, I cannot wait to see it.
You guys can keep seeing that. He's gonna show up. I'm telling. I'll put my freaking everything on the line with this. He's showing up.
I'm ready for it.
And then when it happens, you guys will just be all quiet. So that's okay.
This is better to me. I'm happy with what we're getting right now.
No, and I'm not saying everyone that's going to criticize me right now. I'm just saying when it happens, y'all be quiet when it happens.
You can shame bell everybody, okay?
No, I won't shame bell anyone. I'll just sit here smiling. I'll do what I do best. But guys, we know what's going on here. I don't know if any of you guys are watching the Olympics right now. The Olympics are pretty. I guess they're pretty cool if you guys are into that stuff. But the Olympics are going on. Euros, baseball, championships. It's that summer. It's the summertime months, guys. Concerts all over the summer. You know what isn't, Tiff? You know what isn't in the summer is a wild, hairy bush. It's time to tame your pubes with help from our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. The 4th generation performance package includes the brand new, right there, the Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat your pubes like an Olympic gold medal? Fellas, Do right by your balls and join the 2 million men who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and using code AEPSHAVE20. That's right, AEPSHAVE20 at the end. You're going to save 20%. Look at that, code AEPSHAVE20. You save 20%, and you're going to get free shipping at checkout. But don't just let us tell you guys about this amazing product. Well, let's get my good friend Dusty Rhodes to tell us about Manscaped right now.
Hi, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kyle. And we're here for Kyle.
Today's special product, Manscaped.
Are you looking like a Sasquatch around your crotch? Well, don't just take it from us. Take it from WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes.
Listen, Daddy, if the dream knows about anything, it is Manscaped. And I used to cruise down the boulevard with Sapphire with my balls looking like a Thanksgiving Day turkey, baby. They were so smooth and nice, and I did it by using the Lawnmower 3.0, Daddy. And the best thing about it, moisture resistant, waterproof, Daddy. I'm talking about my nuts used to look like a water slide, baby. Not anymore, because the hair is gone. It looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin's head. It is so nice, baby. Don't leave you downstairs looking dusty. Take it from the dream.
Nothing means nothing without Manscaped, brother, yeah.
And now, a song from the Jobbers.
Don't run me the wrong way. I've been chafing all day. I need a Manscaped. When it hurts real bad and you can smell my ass, I need a Manscaped. Don't sweat it. I need a Manscaped. Don't sweat it. Oh, I need a Manscaped. I need a Manscaped. I need a Manscaped. Yeah. Don't sweat it.
Yeah, don't regret it.
Don't sweat it. Oh, I need a Manscaped. 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 Yeah.
Need the Manscaped.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Use code AEPSHAVE at checkout. It's AEPSHAVE20. Forgot. AEPSHAVE20. Make sure you get the 20 at the end. And save 20% at checkout and get free shipping on your Manscaped order. It's an amazing product, guys. I can vouch for it myself. Again, the Lawnmower 4.0, an amazing product, guys. Get that summer package. You get everything in there. It's so awesome. I wear the boxers a lot, man. The boxers are very comfortable. Yeah, we need Womanscape. Maybe Tiffany can start Womanscape. I don't know. Invest in a new company, Tiff. There you go. Anywho, Rehu. Yeah, guys, go buy our merch. We have a merch store, too. I always forget to plug the merch store.
Merch.
Yeah.
Merch free.
Yeah. So we do tweet about it. So go to twitter.com/alleelitepod. I do tweet about the merch store. Click it. I believe there's a promo code still in use, so go check that out. Anyways, for Rest of Dynamite. Rest of Dynamite is pretty good, too. So I want to bring up something. So Britt mentioned... Okay, so she's hurt. Britt's got that broken wrist. She mentioned that she's gonna have like bodyguards. She pluralized it. I think I know who they are.
Yeah.
Because they were released in April and it's about pretty close to 90 days. Oh. I think the girls are coming in. I saw a rumor that the rumor is Britt's going to be bringing in, formerly known as Peyton and Billy, the Iconics, and they're going to be a new stable with Reba. They're going to be an all-woman stable. And I know I saw the rumor too that Vicky is trying to get Ruby Riott into AEW to make an all-woman stable. We might be getting 2 women stables. So.
The rumor's still going around about Tessa, though. The question is like, it's like a half and half, right? The wrestler's great.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of, like, that she hasn't been around. Like, would the world accept it?
I see 50-50 all the time. All the time I see 50-50. I see people okay with it. I see people that are just never ever gonna forgive her. It's tough. I think it's all gonna depend on how AEW takes it and if they want that kind of publicity. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be like a dice roll, right? We'll see, but that would be interesting. I'm thinking that like Thunder Rosa had a good match with Julia Hart last night too. It kind of seems like all signs are pointing towards Julia Hart or not Julia Hart, Thunder Rosa and Britt at All Out. I think that's the money match, depending on how Britt's wrist does. It kind of sucks too because like they're doing the whole like Britsburg thing in a couple of weeks. Hopefully she'll be okay by then to wrestle. If not, she's gonna be doing something in Pittsburgh, both shows, no matter what. That would be cool though. Like the Dynamite in Pittsburgh to debut the Iconics. Like Britt comes out and debuts them as their stable. Britt still gets the pop for being in Pittsburgh for coming out still and introduces them. That'd be dope. But yeah, I'm assuming if Britt's okay, is it gonna be okay? Thunder Rosa Britt at All Out, and that match is gonna be absolutely fire. Like it's gonna be so good. But other than that, on Dynamite, we had like the Christian thing with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That was a cool match. It was short. I thought it was a good match. The Blade attacking, he attacked Christian after? So a Christian and Blade feud, I'm assuming.
It's the fact that it's like, again, we get all these like new matches that we didn't see before. It's like one of those, like, I bet it's going to be one of those. It's one of those matches we didn't know we needed. I feel like it's going to be one of those.
Your boys last night, Pride Party, they're on Dynamite last night. And dude, they're so funny. Their entrance is so freaking hilarious. Like they are hilarious when they make their entrance. Like they're like gyrating motions and they are like overhyped for being heels.
I like them as like face and like the tails that Quinn wears and everything, like all the little things that like I still miss about, but I'm so happy for them. It's just so amazing. Can we talk about Black and Cody last night?
Oh man, that got me hyped as hell for next week, and how poor Fuego got his head home run kicked.
I died. Sorry.
Like gone out of the stadium, man. Like, oh, I also laughed at Cody getting his head kicked off too. And man, the noticeable boos when Cody came out or when Cody was talking, man, like he's gonna get booed again next week as well. Like when you're going up against a guy like Malachi Black, but man, Malachi Black's makeup looked great too. Like he looked so good.
Tony Khan was like,
TK was there. It's like,
commentary, like the booth or whatever. I just like these little things. I feel like are so important.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, and Black was over as shit too. So I'm only imagining that this is the send off for Cody Rhodes because he's going to film Go Big Show. Say what you want about Cody Rhodes. The guy can every match that he's in, he makes the matches really big. And he makes that big fight feel for every match he's in. Like they put so much work into this one. It's main eventing next week, and it's going to be great. It's going to be an excellent match, and Malachi Black is going to be insane going forward. And that just makes me think, like, I wonder where Malachi Black goes from here. I wonder.
Him, the world. I love it. Him and Miro would be good.
I thought about that. Because Miro's facing Lee Johnson next week, and almost certain he's going to beat Lee Johnson. He's going to destroy him. A Miro and Malachi Black at All Out.
All Out, yeah. I was just going to say that. Like, you can say that for All Out. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we talk about Jackie's boys?
This was gruesome, and it sucks because this was supposed to be. They were supposed to do so much more with this match. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to Ortiz for looking the way he does. Man, he got cut. Ortiz is looking good. Apparently he changed his diet regimen. He looks really good. So good on him for doing that. But this match, I was so hyped for this match, and she was too. And it's just a shame. I guess there was like a bad turnbuckle spot, and he cut his like this part of your arm on the spot in between the turnbuckle pad and the post, that like metal space. I've seen a lot of people saying that maybe AEW should start taping it or putting like pads around it from now on. Maybe just the top one. But yeah, I guess it was really bad. A lot of people were saying they saw like bones sticking out. I think that was gauze. From what I tried, like looking at pictures and zooming in. From what I seen, I think that was gauze that he was holding down. Apparently he's okay. I don't really know what the confirmed reports are with him. All I've seen was the officials are saying that he is okay as of this morning. So thank God he's all right. There's no timetable for his return though. I imagine that these two are gonna have a rematch because they ended the match off so anticlimactic because they had to rush it and they ended it on a brainbuster. And FTR going over was interesting. So I imagine the rematch, if all signs are pointing he can be healed by then, will be the New York show. The Queen show, that'll be the rematch for those two. Unfortunately, either team won't be going to. I don't think we'll be going to All Out for the tag team titles. That's another thing too. I don't know what the Young Bucks are going to be doing with the tag team titles going to All Out.
Well, we still have a month.
Yeah.
A lot can happen in a month. A lot. So we'll
unless it is Private Party or not Private Party, Proud and Powerful, and they win it.
Because even Conrad was talking about that yesterday, and Santana bring back LAX. Imagine like they come in back to LAX. Oh my God!
Your mic keeps cutting out sometimes. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. But anyways, I don't know either. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. What was I gonna say? Hang on a sec. I had a thought. What were we talking about?
Right. Ortiz and
Santana. Oh, that's right. So, God, I can't believe I had like a biggest brain fart there. So I think, I saw a really cool theory, Tiff. What? Could you imagine that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk come into AEW together as a tag team? And
I think that might piss a lot of people off, though.
Why?
I don't know. Because I feel like that they can both do like their own thing.
Yeah, they eventually can. But that would be something different. I know it's probably very unlikely, but I saw the theory and I'm like, oh, well, what if they're the ones to take the titles off the Bucks? What if it's those two? And they put over the next team that's going to win the belts. Like, what if they are the ones that put over like a Jungle Express? I'm theorizing here, like a Jungle Express, or if a Varsity Blondes, or someone.
What freaking Ortiz and Santana to take the fucking belts? Yeah. Oh. And you know when it should happen?
New York, Queens,
York,
yeah. New York. At the New
That's
York
where
show.
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm up for anybody for All Out, but those belts go on the boys in New York.
I'm so excited for All Out. All Out is going to be huge. All Out is going to be a very, very, very big pay-per-view. It just sucks that they're doing it in like a shitty location and like COVID's going on, or else I'd really want to go.
Yeah.
Because like I keep hearing that location where the arena sucks. I bet from now on they could probably do All Out at the United Center. Now for sure, if Punk and Bryan are here, they can just do it at the United Center from now on. But yeah, this will be interesting. I can't wait for All Out. Next week's Homecoming. A lot of cool matches planned for Homecoming. And I'm excited. AEW's the next month is on a way. Next month, basically the road to All Out. We're in for some very, very exciting stuff, guys. We got Homecoming next week. There's Rampage that's going to debut. We got the United Center Rampage that's happening on August 20th. And it's just going to be an awesome, awesome time going forward here. And I'm excited for all of it. The world title picture, I'm still unsure. I'm thinking Okada's. I didn't get into this. I think maybe Kazuchika Okada and Omega is a theory of mine that happens at All Out. And we finally get that match on American soil. I seen that floating around. I'm like, it's a possibility. But you know what?
It's early.
I'm just going to wait. Let's just see how this next month I think the next couple weeks we're finally going to get clearer pictures. I think over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to get the clearest picture ever. I cannot wait. AEW leaves you with such anticipation every damn week. They deliver every single week, and they've been delivering like crazy ever since coming back to live crowds. I can't wait. I'm so hyped. Never been this hyped for wrestling in a very, 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 very long time. I can't wait anymore. So
Do it.
Great week in AEW. I just want to put one last thing. So off topic here, but AEW related. So I was going through the AEW roster page, and one thing too, I noticed they changed -1's name to Mr. Brody Lee Jr., which is so cool. Then I was going through the rest of the roster, and I happened to come across a certain AEW star, and I'm like, why is no one talking about this?
What?
He may not have any singles record, but his tag team and trios record together, listen to this record. In 2021, this guy is 17-0. In his career in AEW, he's 23-0. Can you tell me, Tiff, who you think it is?
I'm like blank.
Right? Hasn't lost yet. Close, Jackie, is none other than Colton Gunn. That put up on the screen for you guys. Look at that. In 2021, this dude is 17-0, which is weird because it looks like it's kind of wrong because 9 + 7 is 16.
Somebody fucked up.
Yeah.
Social media again.
But his career, 23-0. What? That's just, I saw that and I'm like, oh, okay. This guy has got a pretty sick record. And he's just never talked about.
Shame.
This guy's got a better record than a lot of top stars. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, great episode of Dynamite. I don't think anything else happened. Did anything else happen? Am I missing? No. 'Cause I can't think of it.
Nah, we're good.
Nah, we're good.
We're good.
So yeah, great episode of Dynamite. Can't wait for next week, guys. We'll be back again next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern times. You can find myself and Tiff talking some All Elite podcasts. I'll see if I can get a fan tweet for you guys about by next week. I meant to do it this week. I was very sidetracked with work this week. Light tubes, yeah, something like that. But yeah, you guys can catch a lot of other stuff. We're part of the No Holds Bar Network, guys, which is an awesome wrestling podcast network which gives you guys covered with WWE, AEW, indie, a lot of indie stuff. Tiff does. She does Under the Ropes, where she interviews a lot of indie stars. She does Indie Talks, where she kind of does a lot of live vlog footage from the indie show she goes to. We have Kimmy Talks Wrestling, that's part of the network now. She got you covered with the WWE side of things. And you got this podcast, All Elite Podcast, your home for all AEW here on the network. So really cool network, guys. So make sure you guys are following us on all the network platforms. I'm into gaming. If you guys like gaming and wrestling, I actually do a lot of wrestling stuff in the gaming world. It's cool. I do like a kind of like a universe mode on mine, and I commentate. So it's called World of Wrestling. And if you guys want to actually be part of the universe and make your own character, I'm actually having an open forum right now where you can sign up and be in my next universe mode. And it's twitter.com/worldwrestling_. You guys can sign up on there. It's on the pinned tweet. You can fill out the form, and you guys can get your own character in my universe mode, which is really cool. I'm doing kind of like a developmental brand, and then you work your way up to the main roster where all the top stars in wrestling are. So eventually you get to wrestle the top guys. So I'm doing that on my end as well. But yeah, a lot of big things me and Tiffany are doing nowadays. So make sure you guys are checking it all out.
And I'm doing Wrestling with Positivity in August. It's
in August.
Stuff. So I know a lot of wrestlers and stuff watch our podcast or whatever. So if there's some sort of, I'm sure you saw my tweet. I'm trying to compel like footage, or if you want to write something up, or videos, or whatever. Come at me if you have some really
bro.
Come at me if you have some really cool fan or wrestling interactions going on. And Kyle's lowering my video.
Sorry.
So yeah. So come at me if you want.
Come at me, bro.
Fun stuff, but yeah.
But yeah. A lot of cool stuff, guys. A lot of cool stuff. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching live here on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, or Facebook, thank you guys for all watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. It helps us tremendously in the chartable side of things and gets the video shown out there to more and more people. Again, the more and more people watch and join in the live chat, the more discussions we can have. We love seeing you guys comment and playing off your comments here on the podcast is what we love to do here on the live shows. If you are an audio listener, you guys know y'all my favorite. Thank you for downloading the episode. I apologize for not having the audio last week. I will have this one this week. Thank you for downloading each and every single week. If you're on the Apple Podcast side of things, make sure you're giving us a 5-star rating and leaving us a comment down on what you guys think of the network in general. And that's where you can find all the audio episodes, guys. On all your favorite audio platforms, you can search up the No Holds Barred Network. You will get the All Elite Podcast and all the other wonderful podcasts we do offer here on the No Holds Barred Network. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. I'm your Canadian Prince. I'm your self-proclaimed greatest host as always. My name is Kyle Masters, and I'm always joined by my co-host. She's the lady of the light tubes, the EVP giggles, the heartbreak chick, the queen of the indies herself. That is Tiffany. And lastly, guys, you know how we send you guys off here on the podcast. We let our good friend and our good pal, Kenny Omega, send us off here on the podcast like always. So, Kenny, take it away, my good friend.
Goodbye and good night. Bang. Me, I'm self-fulfilling prophecies. Fight for what I just can't keep. Times justify.